Hi everyone, and welcome to Billy Fitzgerald Golf. And today I want to explain how to safely shallow the golf club. What is shallowing and why do we even want to do that in the first place? And what the difference is. I think the biggest thing about this video is what is the difference between shallowing the club on plane and shallowing the club under the plane, because we can definitely overdo it and probably get ourselves in just as much trouble as we started with. So here I've got a workstation. So aligned to my golf ball, I've got my target line, my intermediate target, and now these two sticks represent the plane of the club. So it's the tilted circle that my golf club is working on. So again, if I set up, because I'm not straight on the golf ball, my swing is going to be working on a tilted circle, and those sticks, to a degree, kind of represent what we're trying to look at as far as keeping the club on plane. So basically a perfect shot in golf, or what we're all trying to do, is keep the face of the club on the plane or on the circle, and that face square to that circle. That will produce a very good result. Once we start getting off the circle, or the face of the club is not 90 degrees or square to that circle, that's when the golf ball starts going sideways. So today we're going to talk about how we get that club safely on that circle and start hitting better shots. So what do I mean again by shallowing the club? So shallowing the club is it'll go up on one line and then it shallows down kind of a little bit under where it came up to. So it's it tends to soften a little bit on the way down, and again, a lot of that is just by the transition. It's done by gravity and the weight in the golf club, because the club is over here, and as we transition it tends to drop a little bit. So that's shallowing the club. A lot of people that are over the top, so just so we get our definitions right, if I'm over the top, I'm up here and then I'm over top of the plane, so that would be represented by this stick. So someone that's over the top, if they swing back and they come over the top of the plane, and that's where the over the top phrase comes from, it's referred to from the plane. Or if I'm under the plane, if I swing back and I swing under the plane, so that can have just as many bad habits as well. If you get going under the plane with an open face, it's going way right. With a shut face, it's hooking. So when we talk about shallowing the club, we need to make sure and pay attention that we're shallowing it on plane and not under the plane. I see a lot of people trying to shallow the club out. Again, they just swing back and they just let the club face go back down here and try to hit it. Well, you may be able to hook it from there and have a pretty good power draw, but I'm not so certain you can control the golf ball the way you want to. Now, is that a feeling that we need to have or is that a good feeling for someone that comes back and is way over the top, of the plane? Sure it is, because we've got to get them to do the total opposite, but we've got to kind of narrow our visibility of where we're trying to go, especially with as far as what we're trying to do with the plane of the club, or how the club is traveling on the way down. So here's what I wouldn't want you to do if you're trying to shallow the club. What I don't want you to do is feel like you swing back and then simply just drop your hands in the face of the club and your hands start going out towards the ball. Okay, so you can see when that happens, my hands start going towards the ball, my hips start going towards the ball, and the face of the club is way underneath the plane with the face open. So I've got a lot of timing that's got to happen with that. So be careful when you're trying to shallow the club that we don't just go back here and just drop the face of the club and then try to get the face of the club on the golf ball. I think there's a little bit more to it than that, as far as how you use your lower body, how the face is in relation to my hands. Okay, so to shallow the club on plane, it looks a little bit different. You're going to use a lot more lower body than just dropping the face back with your hands. So when you shallow the club correctly, as I swing back, okay, my first move in transition is I'm going to feel like I've sat down a little bit, which makes my arms drop, and it puts my right arm more on top of the shaft. So now you can see that the club is shallowing on plane and square to that plane. Now when I get into the ball, I'm in position. Now as I swing back on the forward swing, my left hip keeps turning out of the way, and now the handle of the club and the shaft can go left, and the toe of the club can stay right on that line. I think one of the most important things is as we put this whole picture together, if I shallow the golf club by just dropping my hands this way, so I get under the plane, face is open, there's no way I can get this left side or forward swing to properly maneuver or properly get the face on plane and square to this plane on the way through. There's no way, because the club is going to be going so far out to the right with either a square face, open face, or something that's flipped. It's hard to get it going back to my target. So for instance, if I get ready to go here and swing back and I shallow the club, I'm not really shallowing it, I'm just dropping it way underneath the plane with an open face. You can see I've got a lot of twisting to do, and it's usually going to have a pretty good hook going on, or if I don't twist the face with my hands, I'm going to block it way to the right. We're going to hit a couple so you can see this. The second option again is to use my lower body so my arms drop and I can get the face out in front of me a little bit more. So what I'd like you to feel is, again, as I swing back, my first motion, again, right hip gets out of the way, my first motion is I sit back, my left side almost feels like it sits down so my arms drop. So now I can shallow the face, get the face a little more square. Now I'm into impact, and now as my left hip's going left, the handle of the club can go left a little more. So you can see that's a very different, if I remove these sticks, those are two very different swings. So the first one, I'll show you what it looks like to shallow the shaft under the plane though. Okay, so again, if I shallow the shaft under the plane and then go, you can see how much work my hands have to do on the way through. And see, you can see how my swing keeps going over to the right like that. So I'll hit one like that. So if I try to shallow the club underneath the plane, you can see I'm going to hit this big hook because now my hands have tried to catch up with the face. The face gets under here, under the plane and open, and now my hands have to try to catch the face up. Okay, now so the second way we can shallow the club, and you can see there I didn't use any lower body because I don't really have to. See, if I get here and my hands go this way and I drop the face underneath the plane, see my hands go way out towards the ball. So my lower body can really do anything. It's really not in the way because my hands have gone out towards the ball so much, and now I've got to flip the face. So to shallow it on plane, and this is why you see so many really good players when they talk about really using the ground, it helps shallow the golf club out. It helps me get on plane, so it creates this structure that the club can work on. When I had those plane sticks out there, that's what I want the face to work on, is back down the plane into impact, and that now I can go left, again, because I'm on plane. So if I make a practice swing here, so it's back, now you can see how my finish is a lot more left because I'm using my lower body to sit back, so my hands get down here. Now the handle can get going left this way. So it's a totally different swing, it's a totally different feel. Once I transition, I'm gonna sit back with my left side back here. That gets my arms down, I keep going left, and the face keeps square. So let's hit one. There's gonna be some lag in my arms, so it shallows the club out a little bit. So the face of the club can be a little bit more square when I hit it. We'll do one more here. So again, if you're properly trying to shallow the golf club out, from the transition, you're trying to feel like your left side sits back and your arms come down. See, now my hands are more inside, they're more by my right thigh, and the face of the club is more square here. So again, do another one here. So I swing back, sit, and feel how my hands get in here, and I can feel my hand is right here, so the face is very square. So again, there's some lag in my arms, some lag in the club, that helps shallow the club out. In other words, everything doesn't come right out of the top. There's a little lag, and I feel my arms come down. So again, let's hit one more. So it's very easy for me to keep the face of the club on plane, square to that plane. Now everything is working in harmony. So it's not about me just getting here, dropping the face and try to get the face on the golf ball. As I swing back, my transition helps, my hands are in a better spot, the face is in a better spot, and it allows me to finish left or on plane. I want to keep on that circle. So I hope this helps distinguish if you're trying to shallow the club, shallow it properly, shallow it safely, so we don't end up with a lot of face rotation. This is going to keep the club way more square on plane. You're going to hit a lot better shots. It's going to be so much more fun for you, and I hope this helps you. Like and subscribe to my channel, Billy Fitzgerald Golf. Want to take a live lesson from me, or you have a question? Visit me at billyfitzgeraldgolf.com. And thanks for watching.